most of the success that we've had now in protecting the rainforest and it's the levels that we've reached are so far. I think back to those barefoot days of catching snakes with JJ in the boat, and now the massive ecological reserve we have and the team of rangers and the converted loggers, and all of that is because of the ability to communicate and to show people. But that's all been through social media. And so I'm open to the fact, if somebody came and gave a sort of like Bourdainian pass where they said, look, you can be yourself, you can swear, you can fart, you can smoke, you can do whatever you want to do, go out there and show us the real thing, I would love to. But now I know how those contracts need to be. I need to have right to refusal, and they can't change them. And so I'd almost rather just do it like the way I think like Mr. Beast does stuff, where it's like you get a crew of guys and some seed money and go film the episodes and put it out. I mean, a committee never helped real art be better. It has to come from the source of inspiration. So you get I think you get JJ and a crew of people, or the guys in Africa that I'm working with right now doing elephant conservation, and but you got to show real. I mean, look, that's why Joe Rogan is important right now. That's why you're important right now. It's because it's not being filtered through this ridiculous system of polishing it and dumbing it down.
Yeah, that's why Joe has been an inspiration. You don't need a crew of a bunch of people. You don't need a crew, period. All you need is one or two other people, and that's it. And in my case, you don't need anybody. I've been doing this by requirement. I just need to be by myself. Now, there's a few other folks now that help with the editing and so on, but it's just they make life more awesome as opposed to a boss that tells, like a creative director.
Yeah.
Somebody told me, actually, I was visiting LA. I think it was in LA that they were saying that now for all intimate scenes in Hollywood movies, there's an intimacy director. So when there's two people having sex, there's a third person that ensures that on film, so it's not real, but there's still intimacy. That there's a third person that ensures that like everyone is comfortable, and the actors say that this like always ruins the chemistry of the scene.
Yeah.
And so it's a very Hollywood thing. I understand there's creepy people and so on.
I understand. Thanks, Harvey Weinstein.
And it's usually, I think, comes from the director pushing things too hard. If you just leave it to the actors, they know their boundaries. They can control their own boundaries. So the intimacy director is more for the director pushing things. There's Werner Herzog.
I understand the logic. Yes. Like, let's make sure that we don't have anything happen here that shouldn't be happening. I get it, but But no, I think that authenticity is the greatest currency. And I think that in order for me to tell the stories that I can tell, like, what changed the game for me was, I want to tell you this story.
Sure.
So in 2019, the Amazon fires started popping off, and we had just gone to film like a month earlier. We'd filmed like a small documentary, and they'd been following me as if I was on a solo, which we did the best we could. I lived on my own, but we as we were driving, we passed a spot where the flames were 70 feet tall. The forest was being destroyed, and I went out there with my phone, which overheated in like 2 minutes, and said you can't use it. But for a second, I was out there in the flames, picking up animals and throwing them off to try and just get them cooled off. I was trying to get snakes out of there. Everything was, the birds are flying, and I fucking lost it. I was red-eyed, I was crying, and I was going, this is happening every fucking day. I was screaming, and it's the first time that I'd done that, because I've seen the burning so many times, and I just lost it that day. And I don't know what made me pull out my phone, because usually in those intense moments, I say, forget the documentation. This is real life. We got stuff to do, and I'm not documenting. And then a month later, I'm home, and I'm in New York, and all of a sudden I see these articles like, the Amazon's burning worse this year than it was last year, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this, fucking, and I threw it up on Instagram like 8:00 at night. And I'd never cursed on Instagram. I don't know why. I just never did. And my phone was on 100%, and I put it on top of the refrigerator, and I went to bed. I woke up in the morning, and my phone was on the floor on 2%, and it was ringing off the hook. And it was like the news. And they're like, are you the guy that posted that viral video about the Amazon? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And that was the start. That's where it broke. And that's where we went from barefoot in the Amazon to, all of a sudden, I was a talking head for 3 weeks and going around on all these news stations. And all of a sudden I was like the spokesperson for the Amazon, and JJ's calling me and he was like, go, 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 go. Like, get us that support. And it was just, so communicating with people and bringing them into that reality, and whether it's, rhino poaching and elephant poaching or the Amazon being destroyed, it's like, to me, it's like being able to take people into that is something that I would love to do.
Yeah, and you do it directly with authenticity on your Instagram. People should definitely follow your Instagram. I think Rogan follows your Instagram too.
Well, the end of that story actually kind of involves him because I went to all these news outlets and I was living in green rooms and traveling around and I was all strung out and I hadn't seen anybody I actually know in a few weeks, which was starting to get to me. And I finally got home and I went to like a family party and everyone was like, dude, it's been crazy. And I was like, yup. And then I left and my cousin Michael calls me and he's screaming and I'm going, what? And he goes, Joe Rogan just shared it. Joe Rogan just shared it.
Oh, nice.
And everyone was losing their shit. And it was so amazing. And it was like,
yeah,
that's when it really took off. Yeah. And what happened as a result of all of this is that a Canadian entrepreneur who started Lightspeed reached out. And several months later, after COVID, after that boom, I'd been in the game for maybe 13 years or something. Had no money, no savings, no job, no nothing. And after that great publicity thing, nothing happened. The waves came and everything got real exciting. Everybody reached out and they said, we care so much. Nothing happened, though. We can run into battle, but if we don't have our arrows in the quiver, what can we do? And I made a phone call to my friend Mohsen right at the start of COVID, and I was going through divorce and I was broke. And I said, I'm going to get a job. I said, I give up. I said, this is stupid. I said, the ecotourism business is done. Junglekeepers is dried up. We're done. And then this guy, Dax Da Silva, called me on the phone and said, listen, I'm in. What do we got to do? And so if the analogy was me and JJ and a few other people trying to hold this boulder back from just destroying the rainforest, all of a sudden Dax comes in like a titan and just puts his arm out and just goes, I'm going to help. And he gave us the funding to start actually developing a ranger program, to start actually bringing loggers to be protectors of the forest, to be supporting smaller conservation things. And now we're protecting 50,000 acres of rainforest. We're protecting entire streams and ecosystems that I love. And we're soon going to double that. And it's like this whole thing. So, the communication of these things is crucial. And I actually think it's incredible that social media has played such a big role in it.
Well, I mean, just because I know Joe well and I love him so much, I definitely think you should do his podcast, but also just be friends with him. I think you guys, he's one, not to meme, but he's one with nature, and not much more with I'm one. While I do appreciate and love nature, I also love technology and robots and so on. So we're in that meme type of way, we're very, very different. But
either way, at some point, make sure you tell the guy thank you, because it definitely really helped push us over that limit where, if enough people see it, you get someone like Dax who says, I can help and I have the resources to help. And that changed our whole lives.
Changed everything.